G'day viewers, Michael Taylor from 64 Motorsport and welcome to our very first video for the YouTube channel. And this episode I've entitled BMWs, Bourbon and Beer Nuts, which is my version of Cars and Coffee. So we're going to have a chat about my car, what I've been up to, what progress I've made to date and some of the things I've done. We're also going to have a chat about what 64 Motorsport is, what it's about, what it stands for, and the type of videos and productions that we're going to produce over 2020 and beyond. So grab yourself a drink, something to nibble on, get yourself comfy, and let's get cracking. Make sure you always change your oil regularly and use a good quality oil. Now I'm going to grab a fresh cuppa. Let's get cracking. Well, g'day viewers, thanks for coming back. And as I said, this video is entitled BMWs, Bourbon and Beer Nuts. So it's an opportunity for me to run through my build to date and also to explain a bit about what 64 Motorsport is about and what you guys can hope to see from our upcoming video productions over the next year and beyond. So to get started, my weapons of choice today, of course, is my beautiful E46 325 CI Coupe. I've also got my Wild Turkey, my beer nuts, and today I'm going to be nibbling on Nobby's nuts, and I'm going to enjoy my bourbon with a dash of Coke because it's nice and refreshing and it's a stinking hot day today. So, as I've said in my intro videos, the build has been going on now for about 2 years, but part of that is because I'm so damn fussy. Every time I put a new part on, I'll look at the other components that are around it and I just can't help but refresh and restore and clean those up as well. It just does my head in to put a nice new part on and have it sitting next to something which has been caked in dirt and grime. There's been a lot of cleaning, polishing and resto work that's sort of gone on, as well as just, you know, replacing parts. So I'll probably break the episode up into 2 videos. I'll concentrate on the back of the car, what I've done today, because that's probably where the majority of my work has been, and I've only just started working on the front. So I don't know what your guys' views are, whether I should keep it as a purely street car or whether I should incorporate components which will allow me some good track days as well, or whether I should just go all out and build entirely a track car. So I'd be really interested to hear your comments, and please post your comments below and I'll have a look at those, and then maybe in part 2 we'll see what sort of feedback I've had in terms of the way I go. So some important business, please, if you want to see more of my videos, to allow me to do that, please hit the like and the subscribe button, and that'll allow me to keep producing these videos for you guys. I really want these to be entertaining and fun, to give a really good insight in terms of what I'm up to and also what else is happening out there. So not just for people who are into BMWs, but any sort of cars, and then also hopefully other people as well who just find the entertainment value worth watching. To give you a bit of an idea what 64 Motorsport's about, I filmed some shots about a week ago where I answer the sort of questions, what is 64 Motorsport and how did I get the name? And that'll give you a bit of an idea where we're at, and then I'll continue on with where my build's at as well. So what is 64 Motorsport? Well, 64 Motorsport's going to be a platform that looks at the BMW culture here in Australia. I have a BMW, an E46 325 CI Coupe. and it's a project that I've been working on now for about the last 2.5 years. After hundreds of hours of scrolling through the internet looking for ideas, suggestions, parts, that sort of thing, I found that there's a lot of content out of the USA and Europe, very little content out of Australia. 64 Motorsport will be about providing an online platform to showcase and promote the BMW culture here in Australia. It's not just going to be about me working on my car. We're going to produce a series of videos which will not just document my journey, but other people's journeys, what they've been doing with their cars, and also provide some informational DIY maintenance videos, performance upgrade videos, and we'll also have some interviews with some industry professionals, all designed around giving people ideas and inspiration about what they can do with their cars. You know, when Ford and Holden here in Australia withdrew production of their rear-wheel drive cars, BMW is an ideal platform. You know, you've got 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, 8 cylinders, normally aspirated, forced induction, you know, they're all available. You can do engine swaps, and there's a heap of information out there to help you do it. So we're going to try and condense that information and put it into an Australian context for our viewers. So why the name 64 Motorsport? Well, my late sister Angela was born in 1964, so to acknowledge her in some small way, Angela was probably, you know, the strongest, most determined person I've ever met in my life. When she set her mind on something, you know, she was 100% committed. You know, there were no half measures. It was either, oh, we're doing this, or we're not even going to bother, sort of thing. But on the flip side of that, she was the most compassionate person. She gave her love very freely and was very genuine. She despised intolerance. She would stand up for the underdog, or for those people that had fallen upon tough times. And she defended those people with the same energy and drive that she chased her own goals. Yeah, so 64 Motorsport will embody the values that Angela lived her life by, and that sort of strength, courage, determination, but also of respect and tolerance. And if we can do that, then we've acknowledged Angela in the appropriate way. So what I'm going to do now is I'll give you a quick run through my garage, and then we'll have a look at my car. My garage is just a normal sort of double garage built onto the side of the house sort of thing. So I don't actually have a lot of space, mainly because in my garage I also have probably half a household of furniture all sort of stacked up and that. So down this side, as you can see, try to get a good shot there, you can see I don't have a lot of space down what is actually the left-hand side of the car. So suspension work, brakes work, that sort of thing on the left-hand side, not easy. But there's still enough room to move around under the bonnet and get stuff done under there. On the right-hand side, much more space. You can see this is where I've got some storage racks, bench grinder with a wire polishing wheel, my toolbox. I've got one of my workbenches, and that's got I've put a metal top on that, so that's really handy for really greasy work and stuff like that. Slightly smaller workbench, which has got, I've put like a melamine Laminex top on it, so that's much better for clean stuff. We've got more storage racks here, as you can see. Front bumper, most of the front bumper accessories up the top. Got my new Apex race wheels here, and some old suspension components, my drill press and that sort of thing. We've also got a couple of fridges crammed in here and a freezer, and then as you can see, more furniture. Still getting used to the selfie stick, so I do apologise, so hopefully it comes up all right, but nothing some editing can't fix, I guess. Yeah, so just a normal sized garage, and that's what I wanted to get across to people, is that a lot of the work you can do at home, and you don't need an elaborate setup to be able to do it. That's my garage. I'll start running through what we're doing on the car, and then work from the back, work towards the front. As I said, probably episode 2 will cover most of what's happening up the front, because to date I've spent most of my time on the rear end getting that all refreshed, and then we can sort of do a really good focus on what's happening up the front, and then also what the future plans are. Okay, so oh, I'm sorry guys, but something smells really ordinary. This is, oh, that's not pleasant. Sorry, I'm going to take a quick break, and I've got something I've got to deal with before we can continue, and then we'll have, oh crikey. Oh my God. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry guys. That is nasty. Oh, I tell you what, something has seriously crawled up that cat's butt and died about a month ago. Oh, oh. Yeah, that is seriously bad. I gotta tell you, if I'd have left something like that in the toilet bowl and not flushed or Glen 20'd or burned a candle or something, there's no way I'd still be married after 30 odd years, I can tell you. Oh, that is rank. The mongrel bloody cat has been outside all day and then comes inside to dispose of something like that while I'm trying to film this video. That was just really ordinary. So anyway, I'm gonna get cleaned up and let's keep going. Hey, sorry about that. That was a bit intense. Anyway, all cleaned up and ready to go. What I wanted to speak about first is on the rear end, and we'll have a look at the brakes. I haven't really done a lot here, more just a refresh. I have installed H&R coilovers, but I was going to reuse the upper strut mounts. Now, I've already had a problem with the left-hand side where that's even just under the weight of the car has blown out, and it's a really common problem, particularly with the E36 and E46 BMWs. So what I've decided to do is get myself, bear with me a sec, a new set of upper strut mounts. Now the brand I ended up going with, I got from Bimmer World, and they're the ground control upper strut mount. Now the reason I went with these is there's a couple of reasons. First is they actually mount upside down compared to the standard mount. The advantage with that is with the H&R coilovers, they come with a Coney strut. I've currently got these set on the medium setting, but if I want to firm it up and that sort of thing, it means removing the actual strut, adjusting it to either stiffer or softer, and then reinstalling it. And with the standard mount, that means getting inside the boot, pulling out the lining to get access to the two nuts that hold it in place. So by going with the reverse one, that means it's now accessible from inside the wheel well, and I can remove it. The other thing is with the ground control ones, the urethane bushings, if they're reversed, you can either go a track setup or a road setup. So in other words, a soft setup or a hard setup. So it gives me a bit of flexibility in terms of the ride comfort. It's a fairly easy adjustment, and the other thing too is they're not going to blow out. So that's the reason I went with that. There's quite a few different ones on the market, so do your own research, but from all the reviews and everything that I've read, and from all the research that I did, I believe that these were the correct choice. And they certainly are the correct choice for my project. Okay, so if you're doing a track setup and things like that, then there's other track upper strut mounts that you can use and things like that. So have a good think about what you're going to be using the car for, and then select a strut mount to suit that application. But certainly if you're going for a coilover setup or a stiffer spring setup or anything like that, you certainly want to get these upgraded at the same time, because with the stronger load that the stiffer setup's going to give you, you are going to blow out the standard mounts. On the car when I first bought it, it just had a lowered set of springs, and at the rear I just found it was way too low. It was almost like it had been bagged. It was not a good setup, and and I wanted something where I could get some sort of adjustment in the strut, but I also wanted to control the ride height. I wanted it just right. So that's the reason why I went with a coilover set, and that's the reason why I went with that set. Man, that was just a Commodore that drove past. I don't know if you could hear that, but they've got some issues there. I hope they make it to the shops. It could be short Christmas shopping for them, I'm thinking. Anyway, so I'm going to adjust the camera and we'll have a look at what I've done with the brakes, and then we'll go from there. Hey guys, I've gone with the selfie stick, so hopefully this works out. As I say, I'm still getting used to it, so do apologise if it gets a bit shaky or whatever. But anyway, this is probably the best way to be able to show you and get the camera low enough to be able to show you what's going on with the rear brakes. So I'm just going to bring it in a bit, swing it around. I'm probably not going to be fully in the shot, so that's probably where we're at. Okay, I'm sort of working back to front, so I do apologise. With the rear brakes, basically, as I said, I've just done a refresh. So what I've installed, a standard StopTech rotor, which has been drilled and slotted. Okay, it's just a standard size, standard thickness. It's not vented or anything like that. With the drills and slots. There goes that Commodore again. That is funny. Anyway, yeah. So, but with the drills and slots, it's going to give me a slightly extra braking power, and I've gone a heavy duty pad from Bendix as well, so it's going to give me some extra power. I have installed stainless steel brake lines. The caliper itself is just a standard caliper. Now I have spent 100 or probably 50 plus hours. That's all been sanded back before it was been painted. All the casting marks were ground down, and it's not just the caliper, I've done the bracket as well. So I've got some photos, I think, so I might put those, include those in the footage to give you an idea, but a lot of hours cleaning that up. As you can see, we got the Coney struts. I'll try and get in a close look, and the H&R coils. You can't see the adjustment for the coils there because it actually sits up on the top. I've got in my mind the ride height I want, which is basically a little bit of clearance from the guard and that sort of thing. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to get some footage from underneath the car as well for you. I do have a lot of photos of before and after with the resto or clean-up work that I've done under the car. I couldn't tell you the amount of hours I've spent under the car. I was just having a look to see if I've got the bottle. Under the car, it's basically been not what I'd class as a full restoration, but it's been a complete refresh. So all under the car has been fully cleaned out. Now, I've used a product called Go Green, which is basically just a cleaning agent you get from the big box stores here in Australia, like Bunnings. You mix it up. I prefer to use it to degreaser, because then for painting and things like that, there's sort of less cleaned down. There's less residual that's left. On any of the really caked on stuff, I've used degreaser. So it's been a matter of getting underneath there. And as you can see, it's not, as you saw from before, there's not a lot of space around. So it's been a matter of getting under there, gloves, eye protection, the whole lot, and scrubbing it down. Scrubbing brushes. I've only used a brass wire brush because it's a bit softer. As I say, degreaser when it's really caked on, but for the most part, wash down with the Go Green, mixed according to the bottle, and then wash down several times with water, and then probably twice over with wax and grease remover prior to painting. And putting on these new components like aluminium components and polished components and things like that, and they just look ordinary next to all that gunk. So my OCD kicked in, and I got scrubbing. So hundreds of hours underneath there, scrubbing, taping, painting, reassembly, that sort of thing. But I think the results are well worth it, and I'll get some footage of that now, and I'll also include some before and after photos so you can get a bit of an idea. Okay viewers, this is underneath the car, so we've got a couple of components here. This component here is our lower control arm, or otherwise known as our camber arm. Now, what I've installed is the Turner Motorsport aluminium adjustable lower control arm. This here is our new Turner Motorsport sway bar with adjustable sway bar end links. Now you can see that bolt's loose there, and that's because I haven't tightened it up yet, because we've got no load on the car. So I'm not going to fully install that until we've got the wheels on and we've got complete weight on the car, and then I can get those sway bar end links fully installed and adjusted without preloading the sway bar. Sorry about the lighting. That's the upper control arm. Now in there I've installed M3 bushes at both the front and at the rear. The lower control arm has M3 bushes in it as well. Swinging over here, we've got the differential. You can see that's all been stripped back and painted. That's the diff carrier, and in there, get a better shot, I've installed Super Pro polyurethane bushes. They're a 70 geometer. The housing's all been polished and cleaned up. The diff, as you can see, has been stripped back and painted, and the housing itself has been polished. The Turner Motorsport sway bar is 21 mil. I'm going to be including photos of old and new and all that sort of thing as well, to give you an idea of the full cleanup process that I've gone through underneath here. Pretty much all the nuts and bolts have been stripped down, polished. As you can see, it's all been painted, and you'll get a better indication of that once I've posted the before and after photos as well. sway bar setup, because there's a couple of really important points with the there's a couple of really important points with the sway bar setup that I wanted to go through, but I might have to leave that to episode 2. It's going to be a little bit hard to show you the new one because it's already mounted, and I'm not really in the mood for pulling that back out because it's a bit of work. But I do have the old one there, so between that and maybe I can get Mike to do some diagrams for me, I can show you how that works. So anyway, look, thank you very much for, well, I hope you're still here, but thank you very much for watching my first ever video. Part 2, we're going to look at the front of the car, and as I say, I think you're going to find that a little bit more interesting maybe, because we've got some really cool performance parts going on up the front, as well as the coilovers, big brake kit, catback exhaust system. I'm going to touch a little bit on the header situation, and we'll see what we're up to. After that, then we can start looking at some install stuff. I've got some time off over Christmas, so I'm going to be installing the big brake kit, so naturally I'm going to film all that and put that together in a complete video for you guys, and that should come out, you know, probably mid to late January hopefully. Just depends on my other work schedule. I do have a regular job, by the way, so this has been filmed between my regular job and normal household commitments. But yeah, thank you very much. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, hit the like button. That'll allow me to keep producing these sort of videos for you. I hope you found it a little bit entertaining as well, not just all technical boring stuff. And yeah, until next time, TTFN.